This is Lisa Tinkle, Kitchen Tips by Tink. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to make crescent wheat rolls. I've already made the dough. You use a partial white flour and partial wheat flour for this recipe. So maybe some of you have never made a crescent roll, but you have this hunk of dough and you need to weigh it so you know how to cut it, because we're going to cut it in thirds. So first I'm going to use my scale here and I'm going to weigh, time out the bowl so it's on 0 out. Then I'm going to put my dough in there and it's 61, so let's just say 60. So I'm going to divide that into 3. So each 3 is going to weigh 20 ounces. Give or take. So that's 18. It's 25. That's 18. So this guy has got too much. For your rolls to turn out the same size, you have to start out with an equal amount of dough. So I just work at it till I get around 20 in each pile. Okay. So I've got 3 balls of equal weight. Now the next part is to roll them out and you get to 16 triangles. You always want to start your board out with a little bit of flour. And it's tricky because you want this dough to be in a circle to make it work properly. Sometimes I use my whole fist in the dough to get it started to the right shape that I want. And you flip it periodically to make sure you have flour always underneath. Now I'm going to get started on my rolling. Today I'm using my Pampered Chef rolling pin, my Pampered Chef scale, food scale. I'm also going to use my pastry brush. This rolling pin is heavy. It's made out of marble and it really rolls things quickly. And if you want to make your circle, you can sort of do an odd little roll there to get your circle shaped up. It takes a while to get this bread dough thin. You want it to be, for these crescent rolls, you're going to roll it. So you want a thin dough. A little over 14 inches in diameter, I think. And this recipe makes 3 of 16. 3 altogether. So after you get your circle, you're going to put a little butter on there. And then I have found the quickest and easiest way to cut the rolls is with a pizza cutter. You don't want too much butter or it will burn on the bottom of your pan. So I just go ahead and cut in half, and then in 4s, then in 8s, And finally in 16ths. Try to get in the center. Okay, now I've got my dough cut in 16 little pie shapes. Now I'm going to start rolling. So you roll from the big end, you roll it tightly. You do a little tuck at the end, and there we've got our first little crescent roll. I always sort of stretch the top a little bit to get it started. And usually I have some smaller than others. So I usually have two pans, one pan of small ones, one pan of bigger ones so they cook evenly. After you get these all made into the little rolls, you have to let them raise until they're double in size, and then you bake them for 20 minutes. Sometimes the smaller ones bake in 18 and the larger ones bake in 22. It just depends upon your oven. You have to sort of check it at 15. So I'm sort of stretching the dough a little bit, pulling on it as I roll it. So you can see I've got some smaller ones and some bigger ones. All right, so I'll get back with you after I get them all raised. The rolls are all ready to be buttered. So after you get them all rolled out, that's 48 rolls this recipe makes. You go ahead and use your pastry brush and butter them all a little bit. Then you let them sit and raise to double their size. Sometimes I make these the night before, put them in the refrigerator, get them out an hour before I'm going to bake them so they can warm up, and then bake them from there.